Hey, lovelies, welcome back to another reflection of the week. And this week's, I'm going to bring y'all closer. This week's reflection is community is key. I think what has maybe brought it up for me this week is, planning a wedding. And you see, on TikTok, like your content will match the stuff that you're looking at. So I just keep seeing a lot of wedding content, and some of it, it's not always positive, like, oh, these people let me down and all these things happen. One of the things like that I'm grateful for is having people. I don't know, it's like community versus people, because they may not always be in the same community. Do you know what I mean? In the same group, but you're my community. But the people, the individuals who really show up during this time in different ways, um, I'm grateful. And I'm in a place where I'm trying to carve out who my community is, because getting married soon after that, not that soon, but eventually after that, gonna be looking at children. And I really do believe in it takes a village as well. Like, just having people you trust who will be able to show your children the right way. And like starting to be really intentional about who I call community, who I call friends, who I call like family, and sort of purging and breaking that down it can be a mix of emotions, because I think sometimes it's like really beautiful because you get to like, you are starting to notice, wow, this person really shows up for me. And then there's like, oh, this person doesn't really, like, it's a mix of emotions, and it can be quite difficult to process them. And then not only process, make a hard decision based on what you are seeing. And then also there's that element of giving people grace and all of that, yada yada. But that's not what this is about. I've spoken about that before. Check one. I'm sure I have. But yeah, that has really been the theme of this week. And then when I look into like my church community, I'm being so grateful for the way they show up. Just I need a prayer about this, and the way they will go into depth and really make you feel loved and seen, not only by God but by them. Had situation this week where I needed that. I needed prayer, and I tried to do that thing where you don't tell them what you need the prayer for. You just tell them like, oh, I'm feeling this way, and it just all came to a head, and it was like, no, okay, so I'm gonna tell you. And the support, as always, amazing. So knowing that you also have a community there, I think you just, whether you can or can't do it alone, because I can say you can't do it alone. Someone might say, yes, you can. You shouldn't, though. Whether you can or you can't, you should not. I don't believe you should do this life thing alone. It's important to have different point of views. We're not, because what are the chances that we get everything right all the time? That what we are doing is always the right way? Having people who have your best interest at heart, who can occasionally chip in and be like, friend, the way you're doing this is not correct. The way you're doing this is not in line with the values I know you have. Come on, fix up. You need that direction and guidance, like, here on earth. So I really like having a tight knit community is important, but the difference, and that's what the journey is teaching me, like, just having people around you is not a community, but having good people who truly care for you, care for your every step. And when, like, I got to a point where I started to think like, girl, this is extra. Like, ain't nobody gonna care about you that deep, but your mom, your dad, your sister, your man. Like, nobody's gonna. But no, people care. Like, they have that the same way. I know I can truly care for a friend or someone in my community. It can come back to you. There are people who will truly, truly care for you. So if you've not found them yet and you feel like you're in or you have people and they don't meet those, they don't meet the standards. Like, they don't show up for you the way you feel you deserve to be shown up for. There are there is a community, there is a tribe out there for you. Um, and they may just be in different places. It may not be a solid group. And I think that is okay to have people who are scattered around the country, around the world, with different, that show up in different ways and can lend you a different voice and lend you a helping hand in different ways. It doesn't always have to be like one tight knit group of people. You can't, you shouldn't do the thing alone. It's important to have a community of people. That community does not have to be based in one place at the same time. They can show up. It can be a scattered but loving community, and you are not asking for too much for wanting people to show up for you the way you show up for them, the way God says we should show up for each other. We are human. We are human, and we're not always going to get it right. But I think, as well as like having it, but being able to tell said friend, said family, oh, I needed you there and I needed you to be bolder. I needed you more than you showed up. And for friend to be able to say, do you know what, I couldn't at that time, or I missed the mark, and that just be okay. Just because that's one thing I will say for me, like having community as well, that are always there, but you can't talk about anything important. You can't pull them up on it. You can't ask them for more than they're than they give, that bare minimum. If you do, you're seen as like that. No, 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 no. That's not what. That's not the type of community I yearn for. I think it's being able to say, I didn't like that. Needed more. Can I do more? Like, don't be too proud. There's just so many variables that I think are needed, but I also don't think those variables will always just be like that. I think it takes work the same way like a marriage takes work. I think your community, it's okay for your community to take work. There's also sometimes you're all just like-minded and you're all on the same page, and you have like you'll probably have a friend that popped into your head that you just met them like that. They were just on the same page as you. But I do think sometimes as well, like, we're quick to be like, "Do you know, that person just doesn't think like I do." Did you give them the chance to? Oh, did you give them the chance to? Do they truly understand what you need, or do you come across as you need another thing, and they just don't have that brain where they can just work out what you need? That's a gift. Not everyone has it. Genuinely don't think everyone can just tell what people need. That is a beautiful gift, one that should be cherished. But just because someone doesn't have that doesn't mean they don't love you and they don't want to show up for you. You just need to be vocal, not mind readers. I've said a lot of stuff, but I think the main gist is that community is important. So you've got to work at it. And people, there are good people who are on your wave, and you deserve to find them. So you will. And don't do it alone, because you shouldn't.